in the agenda, I called it chemicals, but it's also health. And it's a topic that has actually personally, it has been very interesting for me because I've been working with a lot of projects that had to deal with chemical data and had a lot of difficulties because of the REACH regulation, the chemical strategy that have to fit into it. And now I'm curious to hear what Gianluca, you have to tell us about it. And I invite you to the floor. I see that you're there. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me
Hello.
well? Okay.
Yes, we do.
In the next minutes, I will talk about the project Alternative
Yes.
that I'm coordinating here from Politecnico di Torino in Italy. Alternative is a project which was financed under the Green Deal call. It is coming in 6 months to the end after 3 years of work. And with a EU contribution of 5.5 million. In the next slide, I will just briefly resume the technical content of the project, which is in general to develop an innovative platform to assess the cardiotoxicity of chemical mixtures. The key results we're targeting is first develop adult and aged cardiac in vitro 3D model platform. This will be done basing on tissue engineering and microfluidic approaches, which will lead to a dynamic cell culture systems. Then we will interrogate the model by determining omics marker and functional readouts of cardiac toxicity. This data will be then elaborated through machine learning in silico cloud system approaches for assessment the risks of not only of single chemicals but of mixtures, because in some cases the combination of different pollutants can lead to toxic effects which are not present in case of a single toxicant. So we will then try to extrapolate the kinetic in vitro data to in vivo situations, and this in the end should result in an integrated approach for testing and assessment, IETA, of the potential toxicity of chemicals and their mixtures. And this will contribute also to regulation in the field. So our target is that alternative technical outcome and information and data will be used to design new regulatory frameworks for the establishment of the toxicity of chemicals and their determination in the future. The consortium is very interdisciplinary. It includes 11 partners from both the academia and the industry, so we're also intersectoral. And in the following slides, I will try to explain how we are trying to manage the data output from the project. Also, keeping in mind that their exploitation in terms of information for the population and the definition of new regulatory pathways. So on the next slide, this is the road we had ahead. We are about a month 30 in terms of the data management and dissemination, which is the object of the work package 8 of the project. So the 3 main challenges we are facing and trying to overcome is to establish a protocol for the different data sets which are generated in the project, and also consider IP concerns and the fact that they're generated from partners with different approach to these to the data production. We will monitor the data management updates, so we'll have a dynamic process to make the technical development compatible with the needed update of the data management plan. And the other maybe most important challenge is to boost cross collaboration on data management with other projects, especially those involved in our call. So we arrange meetings to discuss a common aggregate protocol for all of these projects. It would be nice to have a common approach, of course, from different projects financed in the same context, and with several common targets in terms of protection of the environment and human health. In the next slides,
2 minutes, Gianluca.
okay. In the next slides, there is more detailed approach to the data. So we have both collected data from literature and data we create during the experiments, both in silico and in vitro. So some of them will be public, so they are already made available in the different categories. If the research data, dissemination data, and computer software, they are hosted in different databases and platforms such as Zenodo. While the confidential one, trade secrets, these are still kept not public for IPR motives. Or we have sensitive data in terms of GDPR protection, and these, of course, are handled differently. So we have a robust internal protocol to guide partners in data sharing and curation during and after the project. To make the long story short, we have a sort of technical box which is producing data. And so in the technical box, there might be some IPR sensitive aspects because of, especially for the technology developers, the companies that would like also to make money out of it. But the output, what comes out from the box, from the technical box, the data will be made public and as available as possible for the general population and the regulators. In the next slides, next slide, please. Okay. Okay, this is how we, well, especially the data management team is educating the partners, including me, which I'm not, we're more a technical person, in guiding how to raise awareness to the consortium. So we make, for example, training on FAIR principles, dissemination tools, creation of data management repository. And we also have an internal repository where some of information is handled based on an only office platform. And in the next slide, there is, of course, the project approach with the policy needs, so data management policy needs. So we are trying to develop an effective interface between science and regulation, so-called boost the collaboration with scientists and the detection of needs, and also elaborate proposals to regulators to use the science. So there is a two-way relationship between regulators and the data producers, which are the scientists. And this must be done under quality procedures, provide the regulatory dossiers, and of course trigger procedure at OECD level. So that was mostly what I wanted to tell you. In the last slides, there is just a picture of, we took last week in Innsbruck in a project meeting. And maybe you can detect that the snow level in Innsbruck was very high. So this might be an indication of climate changes. So making our mission even more important. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.